I'm going to share my story. I currently live in Australia. I left home on a one-way ticket to Thailand, back home in Canada. I went backpacking, and then I ended up finding myself here in Australia by myself. I came here with literally like no money in the bank, and God has come through in such miraculous ways for me to, from where I was before to where I am now, is just completely different. So I'm going to share my story. It honestly has been such a crazy journey. God has come through in such miraculous ways, but it's also been a year of like healing and perseverance and just a lot of mess and a lot of beauty as well. So I'm sharing this story to encourage others, but also encourage myself to see all that God has done for me in like the last 3 years' time, to help me to kind of keep pushing through, because right now I'm kind of wanting to throw in the towel. Because if you have moved anywhere by yourself and starting over again, you know how hard this journey is. Also, if you're thinking about doing that, maybe it's good to just like know what kind of can be in store for you if you do decide to move to another country, or if you're deciding to move to Australia as well, and kind of what that looks like. I know all our stories are different, but just kind of to have an idea about the emotions that I've been through and the things that have come up and mistakes that I've made and things that I did well. Backstory: I grew up in a suburb town called like Ajax, like 40 minutes from Toronto, and I lived there my whole life. I graduated school, I had a boyfriend like all throughout like the end of high school, university. We were together for a really long time, and I really was wanting to get married. I always had aspirations to like travel the world and do all these really cool things, but I was in a relationship, so it just didn't really make sense. And as much as I wanted to like do all those things, the partner that I was with at the time, like I just really wanted to start my life with him. So I'm at home at this point, just graduated school, and it was like COVID as well, so I really wanted to like go travel, but I couldn't because we were all on lockdown. So then I started like messaging my best friend, and she lived in Toronto. The big girl job, boss babe, living in like the heart of downtown. She just had like a beautiful apartment, and I wanted to live with her. And anyways, it just did not make sense, like with the job that she had. And at the time I was like teaching English online to kids in China. Was not making that much money. I was making like enough to be able to afford rent, but to get like approved for the application, like in Toronto, like you need to be making a certain income. I didn't have that. So long story short, we tried to organize it, and I like sent in the applications with the fact that I was like self-employed. I was not nearly making as much money as she was at the time either. But I really wanted to live in Toronto. Like I wanted to do something different, because I literally lived in Ajax my whole life. I did not go away for university or anything like that. And like I had to like put pictures of this apartment in it because it was gorgeous. And yeah, they put her application in, and I ended up getting approved. Like honestly, it makes no sense as to how I was able to live with her. But God came through, and obviously like she already was living in the apartment, so it was probably a bit easier to kind of just like trade places with her, like her current roommate who was gonna be moving out. Anyway, so I move in. It is like so exciting. I was so excited for like my boyfriend to be able to come over and us to have like our own space and everything. Anyways, so mentioned it already. So I'm like moving into this condo. I'm thinking, okay, I'll be here for like a year or so, just really experience what it's like to be independent before I get like married and settle down with like my soon-to-be husband or whatever. Anyways, so again, we've talked a lot about this. We talked about getting married. Like I believe that he had the ring. I believe that like everything was like set in plan. Like we talked a lot about it. As you know, if you're with someone, you guys are planning on getting married, like it's just something that you discuss. So I was just like so excited. And then there was a certain night that I thought that he was going to be proposing to me. And long story short, he broke up with me instead. And it was just like such a curveball. And I was devastated because I'd been with this person literally like it felt like my whole life. I just like grew up with this person. My whole identity was formed with him. So when that happened, I was just like so lost, so broken, so hurt. And like I can see how God covered me in that, because our relationship was a lot at like the house that I grew up in, but I was now living in the city, so it was like a very new environment. And I ended up getting like a different job that was actually like paying a lot better, and it was good. But then eventually I decided that I wanted to, honestly guys, this is gonna be a really long story.